I think that the Supreme Court of the United States today is the most conservative Supreme Court we've seen in 30 years. Why do I say this? This is a pretty bold claim. If you think back 30 years to the presidency of Richard Nixon, and you simply track from that time the median justice, what I mean by the median justice is the swing voter on the court. It has been a steady progression of swing voters from Potter Stewart to Lewis Powell to Sandra Day O'Connor to now Anthony Kennedy, each one of which was more conservative than his or her predecessor. That is the best metric I can give you for why it is that today we have the most conservative Supreme Court of the United States in the past 30 years. And it's somewhat deceptive then to say that Justice Kennedy or any justice is the swing voter, as if that implies a kind of centrist position. It's only centrist relative to where the rest of the court happens to be. And I would submit to you that the center of the court right now is at least slightly tilted to the right. In the past 2 years, we've seen 2 Supreme Court nominations and replacements. Chief Justice Roberts for his former mentor, Chief Justice Rehnquist, and more consequentially, the appointment of Judge Alito to replace Sandra Day O'Connor. We've now had one full term in which these 2 justices have served on the court, and we have then a small record to evaluate how the court has performed. And I must candidly report to you that I see some troubling signs. And the key shift that occurred has to do with the replacement of the former median justice, Sandra Day O'Connor, with a rather far-right replacement, Samuel Alito. Let me give you a few examples of how this shift manifested itself. Last term, in the so-called partial birth abortion case, the Stenberg case, the court, in a 5-4 decision, upheld a set of restrictions on late-term abortion that the court had struck down just 4 years earlier when implemented by the state of Nebraska. The decisive vote 4 years ago was Sandra Day O'Connor, and the change in vote was Samuel Alito just this past term.